Hey guys, welcome to This is Culture. I'm so excited to bring to you the culmination of many years of work. So what we've done here is we put together a variety show where we're going to bring you the most value for your time. Every week we'll be covering different segments and different people that will influence you and also motivate you. So for this week we're going to be talking about progression. Progression is a very important thing in most people's lives, and it's something we don't obviously see from a day to day, but we see it when we measure it over a long course of time. So in today's segment, we're going to talk about how everyone around us progresses, how we progress, and sometimes we don't even realize it. So I want to give you an example with us, myself. I started doing videos a long time ago, recording myself being very uncomfortable in front of the camera and obviously failing a lot of times. I recorded probably close to 50 videos before I even released my first one. When we first started, we started with some very low-end equipment, cell phones, cheap lighting, no audio, and we've gotten a little bit better since then. Every day we work towards getting better than we were the day before. So since we don't really measure things ourselves because we're doing it every day, sometimes it's good to look back when you've done something for a long time and see how much better you've improved over maybe 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Who knows? So I want to show you guys our very early beginnings. I want to show you guys the first video that we've ever recorded. I recorded myself, and you can see that I was not comfortable. I used to research and Google ways to talk to a camera without being camera shy or without being nervous or without looking like you were gonna, fall apart. So it wasn't easy, but you know what? Everything gets better over time, and anything that you measure, you will get better at. So I want to show you guys how that looked. So ladies and gentlemen, this was 255 Tucker. If you guys have any questions or you have some, or you guys can email me. You do any of those things.
Come on.
Sorry about that. So if you guys have any questions or want a little bit more, so please, that was terrible. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy. Well, that's pretty embarrassing, but if I can do it, guys, anybody can do it. I'm a person who struggles with being sometimes too flat. Sometimes I have to raise my voice, lower my voice, and it didn't get that in the beginning. I didn't understand, so I had to watch myself for a long time to be able to progress to where I am now, where I'm more comfortable, and obviously I'm still working on my presentation. I'm still working on the way I deliver my message, but I wanted to show you guys that it is possible for anyone to do. So going back to This is Culture, in these series that we're going to be releasing to you on a weekly basis, we're going to be showing you the progression of many people's lives. We're going to be showing you what great things are happening right here under our noses in New Jersey that we had no clue about, things that are in our own backyards and around the corner. We're also going to follow the journeys of many people who are doing maybe what you want to do or maybe something similar to what you want to do. And now, speaking of progression, I wanted to introduce to you our first segment, which is called #Goals. Okay, so with this segment, what we're going to do is basically cover the lives of people who are out on a mission. People who are looking to better their lives or further their career in one way or another, whether it be personally, spiritually, or in a business sense. Now, we have great people who have donated their time and obviously gotten uncomfortable. But it's important because without having an accountability person, in this case having an accountability audience, most likely these people would probably fail, or maybe they would not go as far, knowing that no one knows about their goal. No one knows about their journey that they're out to get. So I'm very proud of this segment, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hey everybody, Mike here, and I'm proud to bring you this segment called #Goals. In this segment, we're going to follow a variety of people as they set their one-year goals and try to achieve them, giving you updates along the way. Now, I'm participating as well, and my goal is to get #CultureGoals trending on Instagram. I would like to make it an accountability network, so if you're achieving a goal or taking steps to reach one of your goals, please hashtag your posts with #CultureGoals. At the beginning of this segment, there was about 350 posts there. My one-year goal is to get it above 1,000. Now let's check in with the rest of our participants.
Hello, my name is Daniel.
And I'm Caitlin.
And we are the owners and co-founders of 110 Coffee Company. So I was recently a graphic designer, and I learned very quickly that the corporate lifestyle was just not for me.
And I was working in healthcare and going back to school for the second time until we just came to the conclusion that we needed to pursue our dream and to just take steps to make it happen.
So our goal is to ultimately have a specialty cafe that will allow us to provide our customers with a very high quality cup of coffee, as well as a great authentic experience that they can enjoy and tell their friends about, and something that we can help promote through our community as well.
Hi, I'm Sam, and I'm a mother of 2. I live in Bergen County. I have a 4-year-old daughter and a 6-month-old son. I used to work in the publishing industry. I left that industry when I had my children, but I'm about to embark on a new journey. My goal is to become a yoga instructor and life coach and incorporate both into one business where I serve people as a yoga-centric life coach.
Hey guys, just popping in real quick. So for my hashtag culture goals is to start a clothing brand. It's something I've been thinking about for a while now, finally taking the initiative. So it's gonna be hard. Anyone knows starting a business, especially a clothing brand, can be very difficult. But the best part about it is that it's gonna be worthwhile, exciting, fun, definitely something to learn from. So, I'll keep you guys posted as we go. Stay tuned.
Hey everybody. So for my culture goals, my goal for the next 12 months is actually has nothing to do with business or real estate or anything. It has to do with exercise and health. And my goal is to actually reach a body weight of about 145 pounds with about 12% body fat. Right now, I actually weighed myself a little while ago. I'm 122.6 pounds at about 10.6% body fat.
Hi guys, my name's Jill. This is Buju. So by profession, I'm a designer. I've worked in women's wear for 13 years and now I'm in children's wear. And I also have a small business on the side where I do streetwear. But being active has really been the mainstay in my life since I was a little girl. Up until my early 20s, I was diagnosed with interstitial cystitis, which is a bladder disease, fibromyalgia, endometriosis, and a few other nerve issues. I also found myself in a terrible relationship that was abusive. I guess I'm boring him. But anyway, I decided I had to get me back, and I was the only one who was going to do that. So I took charge of my life, started to meditate and work out and cut back my medication really slowly. And then I found CrossFit and I completely fell in love with it. And the goals never stop for me. So my next goal now is to be able to do a double body weight back squat and deadlift, which is going to be a very big challenge, being that I just started this new job and I've not been consistently lifting like I was, and I'm going to need your support. So thank you.
So I'm really excited to see how far our participants make it on hashtag culture goals. I really wish I had this when I first got started, because accountability is a really, really big driving factor to make sure that people get where they want to be. Now, going into our next topic of progression, sometimes when you want to progress in life, it's important to sometimes just slow down a little bit and take care of your body. Now, I have obviously been a big proponent of this. I'm big on nutrition, on health, and all the fitness regimens you could think about. And sometimes, guys, it's important for us to realize that, because working long hours or working weekends and never making time for the important stuff, such as taking care of your body, is only going to set you back. Well, that brings us to our next segment, Curb Appeal. We're going to be interviewing a lot of people who are going to give you tips on how you can make your life better, not only in a healthy aspect, but in every aspect of your life. This week, we're going to be interviewing Dr. Shelley Souza. She's been my chiropractor for many, many years, and she's going to share with us some tips from her practice that can make a big impact on your life. I'm so proud to introduce her, Dr. Shelley.
Hello everybody, my name is Dr. Shelley Souza and I am a family chiropractor in Clark, New Jersey. I'm here to talk to you today about the nervous system, and that's because chiropractors are actually doctors of the nervous system. People believe we're bone doctors, but that's not true. We actually use the bones to access the nervous system, which is the master controller of every organ, tissue, cell, muscle, and function in the body. It's going to control those organs by actually creating messages in the brain, sending them down the spinal cord and out these spinal nerves. and then the body's going to speak back to the brain in the reverse. So this is how everything is controlled. In order to be healthy, this system has to be balanced in its two parts, which are sympathetic, this is our adrenaline, fight or flight system, or our parasympathetic, which is our slow rest and digest system. We are actually supposed to be in a ratio of 80% rest and digest and 20% adrenaline. The average American is actually going to put themselves directly into this adrenaline system. The first thing they do in the morning, when they get up, they immediately start running around to complete all the tasks of the day. So basically, what you need to do is find different ways to slow your body down throughout the day. One way you can do this is by accessing a full breath. You're going to breathe in for a count of 3 and breathe out to the count of 6. So let's give it a try. You're gonna breathe in, 1, 2, 3, and breathe all the way out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you do this a handful of times in the row, you're gonna notice yourself in a much happier state in that moment. The next thing that you can do is actually do all of your tasks slower. So for example, if you get up in the morning and you know it takes you a solid hour to get out of the house, add a half an hour to that time so that you can do everything more slowly. Another thing you can do is try not to multitask. We know that when you're doing more than one thing at a time, it actually immediately increases your stress levels. And last but not least, if you're looking for another easy way to immediately access your parasympathetic system to slow down, you could actually take your finger and rub it along your lips because there are actual parasympathetic fibers in that area of your body. I hope this is helpful for you to be happier and healthier. See you next time.
Each episode of This is Culture will be ending our show with an inspirational interview. This week we had the honor to have Jersey-based rapper Ren Thomas in studio. Let's go ahead and check it out. We are in studio today with Ren Thomas, the one and only infamous local legend, soon to be national worldwide legend, Ren Thomas. So you're doing crazy things. Can you just tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, so I grew up in Clark, New Jersey. I started rapping around when I was about 10 years old. I started writing. My cousin was a rapper. He really inspired me to get involved in it, and then it kind of just took on a life of its own. I fell in love with hip hop and became my way to vent and get out all the frustrations and emotions that I had that I couldn't really speak to people about, and I was able to take that and transform it into this thing. I started doing a lot of battle raps when I was very young. I would go to colleges, and I was in middle school, and I would go to colleges and I would win these competitions. And
how old were you at the time?
Like 13.
Oh, you were a baby.
Yeah, I was like 8th grade maybe. Used to go out there and win these cash prizes, and that was all off the top of the head. Then after that, I just got really engulfed in it, and met a guy who made production. We made one mixtape and we got a record deal. I was 18 at the time. From there, everything kind of fell apart with that, but I just kept pursuing and driving and doing all that, and things have worked out pretty well so far.
That's awesome, brother. Yeah. So I read a little bit about your background, and you mentioned in one of the articles that you were interviewed on that you were terrible when you first got started as a rapper within your friends and your clique, and that could have been the reason for you to give up right then and there. Been embarrassed, you're like, you know what, let me just give up. It's not for me. I don't look the part. I don't sound the part. Yeah. But there was something inside of you that kind of lit a fire under you when probably people made fun of you, right? Or probably they joked on you or cracked on you. So what did it feel like to not be good in the beginning? What made you pursue it even though you were probably the worst one in the group?
That was like the super driver, because I'm just competitive by nature. So, not being as good as the other guys around me, they were all like 18, and I was like 13. So they had already experienced life a little bit. So they had more of a story to tell. But I was still decent, Yeah. I could make fun of you, but I couldn't write a song, right? So these guys were good at storytelling and telling stories of their lives. But that was always the pusher, and still to this day. Good. People thinking that I can't do something makes me want to achieve it. Yeah. Right. So when I was dating this girl, I'll never forget this. I was 12 years old, maybe 13. and she called me and she said, I want to hang out. And I said, no, I'm in the studio. She said, why are you doing that? You're never going to make it as a rapper. And still to this day, that's a driving force behind it.
Yeah.
20 years later.
I think all of the best people in the world who have achieved a high level of success have all been told at one point or another, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And they give you their own limiting expectations on you.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm the same way. I feel like when someone tells me I can't, I want it that much more. Please tell me I can. Please tell me I suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure you've experienced that even probably recently. You probably still get that today to this day.
Yeah, I mean, I love pure hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like still to this day, people will be like, well, that's old school.
Sure.
That's 90. It sounds like the 90s. You sound like you're part of Wu-Tang Clan, type of stuff like that. And I take that as a compliment because those are the people who I feel were the people who changed my life, right? So I don't want to be a new aged rapper.
Sure.
And I could do it. I have songs that, border that that feel of the new trap stuff or whatever they call it. But that's just not me. I'm a student of the old school. So like I want to make records like that.
Sure.
So yeah, people will be like, oh, it's old, you should do this, you should do that. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's not in my heart.
But tell me about the times when you were at your lowest, when you felt like, you know what, maybe I should just give this shit up. Maybe I should just then get a normal job. Maybe that person was right. Tell me about those days.
Well, so the darkest times of my life were the times when I was making no money, I was working a dead-end job, but I was still pursuing music. I was going to work every day, getting out of work, taking an hour nap, going to the studio or going and doing a show in a different state, coming back home and going to work again.
Yeah.
And I did that for 7 years, almost every day.
Dedication.
That was the dedication that I had for what I wanted to achieve was more important than, anything else to me.
Good.
I didn't, but I had to keep myself up. I had to keep writing. And, then all of a sudden social media started to, because when I started, there was no social media. We didn't know how to get a record deal. We didn't know how to get people to hear our music, except for like going to the mall and handing out tapes and, all the crazy stuff that we used to do. But, as social media formed, then people started to, start writing me messages, and I'm writing songs for myself, and people are hitting me up like, hey, I was suicidal and I listened to this song and it changed my life. And I'm like, this is exactly why I loved hip hop, because the guys who I listened to as a kid, they changed my life. When I was in dark spots as a kid, I would listen to their music and it would bring me out because I just knew that somebody else was feeling the way that I felt.
Yeah.
Right. So that was what made me love hip hop.
Yeah.
So when people started coming to that, even the dark times that I had, that kind of stuff will pull me out right away, because I'm like, all right, there's a purpose behind what I'm doing. It's not just, even though I'm not making any money yet, it still drove me. And for some reason, I always had this feeling that I was going to make it no matter what. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And my level of success isn't measured by dollars, right? My measure of success is how I feel inside.
Of course.
And I'm happy doing what I do.
Of course.
You know what I mean? I don't need 22 million followers. I'm okay with 22,000. I'm okay with 2,000. I'm okay with 22. Because as long as there's 1 or 2 people in there that are getting the message that I'm trying to deliver, that's all I really care about. I'm never going to compromise my character for cash. It doesn't, I've been put in situations where labels came to me and they wanted to sign me and they offered money, but they wanted me to change my sound, my style. They wanted me to dress different. I'm good. I'm good. I want to be myself forever.
That's good.
Because if I'm not myself, then what did I do all this work for?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're throwing away everything you've been working on for the better part of your life.
Yeah.
So Ren, you were also mentioning that you have clothing line.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It's Been Nice Apparel.
Been Nice.
Yeah, so I put out a record in 2016 called I've Been Nice. The single on it was produced by Pete Rock.
Oh, I love Pete Rock.
Yeah. Shout out to Pete Rock. He's a great dude. He's at least top 3 producers of all time. So to work with him was such a pleasure. So I dropped that, and that kind of became my moniker. People started being like, Ren Thomas, he's been nice. You know what I mean? So I turned that into, first I just did the shirts for the album. And then people were like, you should put this on hats. You should put this on everything. I'll wear this with everything. Because, everybody feels like they've been nice at something.
Of course.
Whether they've been nice at selling real estate or they've been nice at rhyming.
I'd rock that.
Yeah, exactly. So I created this clothing line based around that. And we're doing really well. We just opened up our own print shop. I got a lot of things going on. I'm busy. I'm a busy guy, but I have so much new music coming out. I'm really, really, you know, my heart is still in music. I'm just trying to find other ways to, you know, invest my money and get some return on it.
I hear you.
You know, because at the end of the day, actual music doesn't really make you money. That just makes you a name so that people will pay attention to the other things that
The
you're
merchandising
doing.
part of it.
Yeah, like, so I make all my money off of touring. Touring and selling the merch.
Sure.
Now I opened a studio that's starting to show some return.
Good.
Print shop, you know, all these things. And they all, somebody told me one time that you should have a center goal in something and there should be 5 points outside of it, but they should all return back to the center.
Absolutely.
Right, so, you know, I got the center.
I like
I
that.
also have my production. I have the studio. I have the touring. I have the merchandise. All that, and it all goes back to the main focus, which is music.
Yeah, no, I love this. I love this conversation we're having because when I first got approached with interviewing you, my producer was saying, you know, are you sure you know it's going to fit your, you know, what we're trying to cover here? And I said, you know what? Anyone who's made it that far in their industry has got a mindset, and that's what we got to figure out. You know, what you think, what you do, because that pertains to exactly what we talk about here, which is the self-development mindset, reaching your goals, and you know, doing whatever it is that you really have a passion for. So I know you mentioned in an article I read about you that your dad was that your parents actually, they supported you in your decision, and your dad actually was a big proponent in helping you, you know, follow your dream, helped you build a studio in your basement. How much of that you think played a part in you doing what you do? Because I'm sure your parents could have been like, nah, you gotta go to college, you gotta do this, you gotta follow my steps. I'm sure your dad wasn't an aspiring rapper, you know?
No. He worked for Bell Atlantic. I don't know. I fell in love with hip hop, and my dad was like, all right, so you think you can make any money with this? And I was like, yeah, you know, I think I can. It's
practical.
So he helped me build this booth. I was a teenager. I was in like high school.
Yeah.
And we all used to make these tapes and stuff. And then my mom hates when I tell this story, but I came home from this battle one time, and she was like, it was like a huge battle. It was at Kane University. It was like a bunch of the top guys in the area and stuff. And I came home, and she was like, how'd you do? And I was like, oh, I won. She was like, what? I'm like, yeah, I won $500. She's like, wow. And then she told my brother, and he relayed this to me, that she was hoping that I would lose.
Oh, wow, really?
So that I would understand that maybe this wasn't for me, because she didn't see that. She didn't understand at that time. Now, my parents only wear like if you see my parents, they both have I've Been Nice hoodies on and Ren Thomas hats, and you know, they're super supportive.
That's awesome.
But it was a long road, you know what I mean? I lived with them for a long time, making music.
She was trying to protect you.
She was, yeah. No, and I totally
totally
understand all that. But they were, I don't know what would have happened if they would have been like, no, you need to go to college and do this thing. You know what I mean? Because they were always very open-minded to whatever I wanted to try.
Got it.
So they were like, you want to try this? You better put 100% into it.
Yeah.
I think that might be another driving factor, is they were like, look, if you're going to do it, don't do it halfway.
Do it all
you got to go all the way. Be as thorough as possible with it. So, you know, I dove in, and ever since, you know, there's been little hiccups and stuff where I'm like, yo, Dad, I need this bread to go on tour. I'm going to need to borrow it, and then, you know.
Yeah, but
things like that,
he invested in you. He believed in you. So if our viewers want, not if they want, but I'm sure they're going to be dying to follow your music and follow you, where can they find you? Where's the best place to get you?
I'm on all streaming platforms, so everything I've ever put out is on, you know, all the streaming platforms. But you can follow me on Instagram at Ren Thomas Music, RenThomasMusic. And that's for everything. That's for Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that. It's all Ren Thomas Music.
That's beautiful, brother.
Best way to really find my stuff is to Google Ren Thomas. Everything will pop up.
Yeah, you definitely all over the place.
Yeah.
Notice that. Thank you for being in the studio with us, man. The pleasure was all mine. I got so much out of this.
Thank you.
All right, I wish you nothing but the best, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you guys for watching. This was an amazing episode. Tune in next time. Have a great one.
I've been nice.
I've been nice. Awesome.